Mhm. Hey everyone, it's Wednesday. Welcome to the live stream. It's time for Brush Hour. My name is David Lozeau, for those who are new, and we're going to get painting today. Thank you for joining me. I'm a Southern California-based Day of the Dead style artist, although tonight it's a little more urban legend-y, fun stuff outside the box. This is a custom commission that I'm doing, and it's based on a Mothman legend. And this is actually a triptych, three-panel painting, and this is the center panel. You might have seen me start the other panel last week, the last two streams actually. So we're gonna get after it now and work on the center panel of this Mothman triptych. And again, thanks for joining me. Feel free to fire any questions you have over, and we're gonna get painting.
Melissa says greetings.
Hello, Melissa. Welcome. Thank you for joining me.
Melissa, how's the sound? Somebody last week said on one of the places that
yeah, my mic was cutting in and out.
Yeah, the mic was cutting in. Not that I don't believe the gentleman. I just curious if it's both.
So if you're joining me now, the background was done with acrylic. All the colors are done with gouache. And then this dark line work that you see here that's going to come all the way across the painting is enamel. And that's basically where I put all the detail, and that's what we're doing tonight. And again, that's kind of my favorite part of the painting and where it really kind of comes together. So this is what we're doing tonight, and kind of putting all the little detail parts to pull this guy together. Again, super fun, design that, or concept that I would never have come across myself. So I'm very excited. It's like a really fun research project learning. And
Kimmy says, I absolutely love your work.
Thank you, Kimmy. Appreciate it. Thank you for joining the stream.
Errol says this piece reminds me of a great Marvel comic book.
Yeah, thanks, Errol. And it feels the same way to me. Like, this just feels like comic work.
Yeah. I actually worked at a comic book company as an editor back in the day, not an artist. And the covers, the inside the book, right? The covers.
Yes,
like
exactly.
Piece of art that was special for the cover. But it reminds me of dark and kooky and spooky and weird perspective, and weird lighting, and extreme and graphic. Very, very much feels like a comic.
Completely agree. It feels that way. I'm painting it that way. It's kind of dramatic lighting. Again, the legend is great. The Mothman was first seen at the site of a major bridge catastrophe. 46 people perished. This is kind of where the legend started. So I was really paying homage to that moment in time. And of course, read that legend. The bridge was just a great way for me. That's got to be in it. That's a great part I want to capture.
Spudzer says hello once again.
Hey, Spudzer, thanks for joining me again.
The greeabling looks really good in your style.
Greebling. Well, thank you. Greebler from way back.
Yeah. Janice says hello from Vista.
From Vista, Janice.
And Errol says hello to Mrs. David Lozeau. It's good sound. Nice to hear your voice. You cut out a little from time to time, but I love your thoughts. Thank you, David. Yeah.
Well, she'll always cut off because unfortunately we can only use one microphone, and she's on the opposite side, and it doesn't like her in that way.
The gist of it is the microphone does not like me. That's the you can hear David's answers. I'm not really saying much. I'm just So Spencer says Greebles are like.
Oh, I know the Greebles because when I do modeling, Greebles are kind of like the little strange random textures you add, like the surface of a spaceship. Yeah.
They said like on all the Star Wars.
I know that, nerd. I am a nerd too. I have my dad does is really into model trains, and I built some custom cars for him. And I have a whole box of Greeble model kit with just such purpose.
I was like, I have to look up Greeble. I still don't understand, so I'm just going to move on.
Yeah. We get it.
You That is funny.
We are Greebling.
I don't understand what you're talking about. Oh my god. Even the definition didn't like. Well, now I have a word for your weird texture, right? Like,
yes, you can say that for sure. That would fit in.
Because you do that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You make up a texture that like, like, what is this? I never know what to call it. That's so funny.
From this day henceforth,
Greebles. So what on this painting? Okay, help me further define it.
Like Greebles will be this stuff here, like all this little texture to define surface areas, all these little bits and pieces on there.
Okay.
It's the little parts that you talk about, the weird strokes.
Oh,
You're like, what are those strokes?
Have a word for it. I texture, detail. You like to call it nooks and crannies. I that is this. No?
Hey-o.
I still don't think
Yeah.
Is this oils or a type of enamel?
So this is a type of enamel. So the background is acrylic. All the colors you see here. I'm sorry. The background is acrylic. The sky. All the colors you see here are gouache, kind of like an opaque watercolor. And what I'm doing now is enamel. And this is where all the line work will get put in.
You can see. So what's the difference here when you talk about the acrylic, which is the blue background?
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Flat blue background you see is the acrylic.
And how is that different from the
So that basically dries completely. You can't reactivate it. Once it's dry, it's completely locked down. My gouache, if I was to add water to this, I could reactivate it. You know, muddy it, kind of blend the colors together, even remove a little bit. You know, and kind of rework it. And it doesn't actually lock in until I seal it.
what part of the gouache?
Everything, all the color you see is gouache. All the stuff inside it, blue, all the down to this is actually gouache too. This is actually airbrush, so it's actually acrylic that I put in for the light rays.
And all the black.
Yes, all the black is the enamel.
But they're saying, yeah, for me personally, all the bits and bobs on the bridge would classify
Yep.
as Greebles.
Yep.
Okay.
Bobs.
So you live and die by the Greebles.
I am a Greebler.
You are a Greebler from way back. Huh. Now I know.
And I learned that word watching Adam Savage. That's because that's a word they use in the model making industry.
Elray 86 is saying, I love the military art and cowboy stuff you've done. Keep up the amazing work.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Yes, love doing the cowboy stuff. We got some more. Usually when I go up to Arizona for my to paint the live paint my gallery at the holiday season, we try and
Military is always on flat.
Yes.
Probably more difficult to make you not.
Yes, because painting World War II stuff is what I would paint all day long if Erica was not around to reel it in.
If I didn't come in, you would have so much cowboy and military and samurai art. I don't know if you'd ever see anything else. So you've got to diversify. Even Greebling. I want to say, if I ever get to meet you, it'd be my honor. Dinner.
Appreciate it, Errol.
That's very, very sweet. That's very sweet. We'll bring the Greebles.
Greeblese.
I like my Greebles medium.
Medium Greeble?
Yeah.
Yeah, most people do. Very easy, your Greebles.
A little like rub on there. And you've been thinking about the
Yes, and I have a really fun frames that I want to fun way to frame it.
did a frame, the triptych, there's this centerpiece, 2 flanking pieces.
Yes, 2 flanking
Are they
pieces.
all going to be framed the same?
So, yes, they're going to be framed the same. I would love to mount them, but I cannot ship them that way. Mounted, it'd be too fragile. So they won't be mounted, but they will hang together. I'd like to have like a center panel and the 2 other frames come off that panel versus hanging next to it. And it's just too much of a weak point in shipping. Our experience has showed us that it's just too susceptible to getting smashed to bits.
Can you build something that they could put together?
Well, I was. There could be a hanging point where it kind of goes on there. This is kind of like what I was engineering in my head, kind of what I imagined. So there is a possible way. I have some ideas because I would like. It depends if I can make it work in my head, in person. Yeah. So yes, the first custom, so not the first painting I sold, but the first custom commission. Wouldn't that be the Under the Island Influence? Right? That's the first. Yeah, I think I did some serious thing. I did a couple small tiki like sculpture, tiny one-off paintings, that I wouldn't really count. But the first like real commission, it was $1,000, which still is an amazing amount of money for art. And it was for a tiki piece.
Yeah.
And it was probably 2008, maybe.
8, 9.
Yeah.
And all enamel.
Full enamel. And actually, if you go to my YouTube page, you can see it Under the Island Influence. You can see it actually recorded the painting process of that piece so many years ago.
Yeah, I would say so. So it's kind of they're like sitting in a car, kind of on an island, like drinking and palm trees and the whole thing. And this was the point where everything was enamel, back and forth.
Yeah, full color.
So it's just a hot color, shiny, like, and it was kind of a hot rod themed piece, which made total sense. The person was into hot rods, the PU uses for hot rods. Spencer says, "Well, I assume you already had a pretty large portfolio to advance the price for your early works." This was early, very early, and it wasn't that. It was hard to come up with the price and make sense of it. And what we did essentially is, which we kind of still do to this day, I assume a lot of artists think this way, is how long, what's the size of the painting, and how long will it take me to do this painting? Kind of with my hour chart is kind of sort of approach it. And then you'll come up with per hour based on previous sales, but not even necessarily paintings. How much is my time worth up to this point? And it seemed like a lot of money, but at the same time, it was like he really wanted the commission, wanted to afford it.
Yes. And again, and pricing is something you deal with as an artist your entire life. It never gets easier. Constantly wondering, it's time to move my pricing up? It's time to move my pricing down? Am I overpriced? It never gets easy. Basically, our goal was always not have too many originals sitting around. We try to make things, we have a forward way of prints, we have all these different options. We're also going to make sure that our originals would move. I'd rather take a little less and go to homes and start collecting our original work and investing in the brand and being part of the art. And that kind of was always our goal and still is our goal to this day.
And the theory also came up, if a piece is free, and it's something I use
yes,
because turn down throughout the audience around things that aren't either appropriate or just not interested or whatever. This was like in his wheelhouse, wanted to do it, had a fun idea, was very open to ideas and wasn't kind of controlling the thing too much. And because the theme open, like it was a fun theme of guys drinking in a hot rod car on the beach, whatever. It also had an ongoing print selling potential.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So,
yes.
So what Dave did at the time, if we had continued to do this thing, I would keep this custom piece for you. And it's going to be like so. My canvas drawing, I want your approval, and that whole process. person totally knows what they're doing. But if I can make prints of it, if I can make more money on it in the future, more people get to have I can cut you a better deal, right? I'm not living and dying by this commission. And so that has always been at the forefront of our minds is make the originals move. Don't make them so expensive that they don't move. Make them attainable for people. And let us continue this piece so that we can afford to make the originals and put them at a lower price. So we've always done that, and that was done with that piece. So we, of course, still have prints of that piece. So this is, 18 years later, 16 years later, this is the whole span of David's career now. We still make money with the prints of that piece. It is good. It still stands up. It's funny. People appreciate it. And so we were able to put the price of that painting at an affordable rate for that person, their budget and the size and everything. And that's still how we do it. If someone says, I want a custom piece, but I don't want prints of it for anybody. We say, okay, well, that's money that we lose, right? There's time now that David loses by focusing only on this piece and not being able to make future money off of it. So here's the price for that. If that happens, then there's a discounted price for that because we know money can be made later. Some parts absolutely can't happen. It's just too personal.
Oh yes, personal stuff.
Sense.
Exactly.
We know it won't make sense to make sense. So it's a case by case basis. And we had one gentleman say, "Dave, I've painted and it needs to do tons of events." One gentleman said, "I literally don't want anyone else to see this."
Yep, doesn't even no showing it ever in a book, no showing it ever.
So not only does it, I don't want any events with it, no live streaming of it, or something. Like I don't want anyone else to see this. And it's not like the piece was explicit or edgy, or it was nothing of that sort. But it was in a very specific way. And so something like that is like agreeable, like absolutely, there will be no sign of this. So every commission comes with a set of kind of rules that we work out with the buyer that go way beyond just size of piece, right? It goes beyond how do you feel about it being represented or shared? What if it was on T-shirts? What if a company down the line wants to license it? These are all things that, because David holds the copyright, all of its works, regardless of whether they're going to be sold at a certain price or a price. We always hold the copyrights, and so these are the things that have to be hammered out because the commissions and you got for a good deal. If I put it on a shirt or putting it on a poster or licensing to a company to put it on mouse pads, right? I have the right to do that, and you have to agree to that. So it's always the balance of what do you want, how much you want to spend, what are you willing to accept,
Yeah, and we got to, anytime someone commissions a piece of work, we go through all these details to kind of explain all these options. And again, it's once we explain it and show how it works and everything, everyone gets it.
So what would you say, Spud, you're saying, can you quantify what percentage, how much extra you charge for someone who wants never to be seen versus who really wants to share?
Usually it's around 25 to 50%, depending on how big the painting is and how time intensive it is. If it's a huge painting, then obviously the price is more because I get no other money. It's kind of a normal size, like a normal 1824 painting, which is this size here, is probably more in the maybe 25% to 30%, right in there. It doesn't happen often, and it's a conversation we have. Again, I'm never offended. I understand. We understand. So we just try to make it work out. We kind of budget, okay, if you can't afford that with that rate, maybe go a little smaller and work it out.
And that's the thing with, and why a lot of art is there's a different side to it, and art is very personal, and so to keep everybody happy, everybody on the same page, no one offended or upset, it's all on the table. And so it's just, what do people want? What are they okay with? most people, I would say 99% of people love that their piece gets out there in the world.
Because people, their friends can buy prints of it. You know, they see their painting out in the world at a show and they go, oh, that's ours. They love, it's always been, it's been a real point of pride.
Yeah, t-shirts with it on. Most people really like to see the art out and about, and they love discounts. But the few people that have said no one can see it, only a handful, and then a few more people beyond that. Is but I don't want repercussions of it, and so it's a small percentage, and they have their reasons, and that's totally.
Yeah, we've done hundreds of commissions at this point, and the amount that have not done it is in the sub 10.
Yeah, it's usually for, and you just never know. It's just usually for a personal reason, and that's.
Like military ones, they may have insignias, they may have very personal meanings to them. So those are common to not be done prints, and that's all. Sometimes they're like, you can do prints, just take this out, take that out. It's always a good conversation, and for me, usually with those conversations, it helps me make a better commission because I'm learning about you and what you like about this and what you want. So it's all part of that process. Hey.
Because that's great. By the way, reminds me of something, but I can't think of it. I totally agree. I was said earlier that I used to be in the comic book industry, and it just reminds me of. It has that feeling of like a comic book cover. You know, a monster that Spider-Man, Batman would fight. It just feels so comic booky to me. I think it's really fun. I love it. Rob DeVille saying this looks amazing. Have you thought about doing other classic monsters, folklore or pop?
Rob, I have, and it's a fine. Here's a fine line. I love painting the monster stuff. I've done cute versions. I've painted Frankenstein. It's just one of those things that, as an artist, I have this weird hang up where I want to paint my stuff, and when you paint those monsters, everyone's painting those monsters. I like to paint unique things to myself. And sometimes when you paint those other things, it's like the Marilyn Monroe airbrush paintings. Like, there's 100 guys who do that. So for me, like pop culture, I don't do any I try and avoid pop culture because it can just be done by other people. I have so many weird visions in my head of my own monsters that I want to get those done also. So I just kind of have a weird.
But when you've done them, like you've done Frankenstein.
Yeah, and I love it.
You have such a fun take on it.
I do.
Like when you do the monsters, the traditional monsters.
Yes.
I think they're so fun, and I think people really do enjoy it.
Exactly, and so that said about not wanting to, I still will do them occasionally, and they'll still work their way in. It's just not a huge focus of me. Same reason I don't do Iron Man or things like that because there's just so many guys doing it. But I do love the monsters, and you will find me them working their way into my work. I mean, the Creature from the Black Lagoon, I'm dying to paint that. The Mummy, love that stuff. I love. I worked with the classic monster series last year with Upper Deck. Doing insert sketch cards of all these different monsters, and I loved it. It just really got me excited to want to do more of that. So all that BS I just said about not wanting to do it aside, I'll probably still end up doing some because I do love them.
Please do monsters.
Yes.
Grandma's saying maybe it's the fly that's making
it has a huge fly. It's given fly for sure.
Definitely feels fly.
Yeah.
And it feels it just reminds me of something. It's on the tip of my tongue of a movie. I can't think of it. The bad thing is he's ripping parts out of the wall or something.
Is it?
What am I thinking of?
What's that movie we used to watch on the plane when John Lithgow is looking out the window?
Yes, that is what I'm thinking. Yes, it's
Twilight Zone.
That scene is on which totally different looking thing.
Yeah.
The John Lithgow's on the plane and he has, and he looks out the window and he sees the monster ripping the board materials from the food, and the food starts to shake, and it's this whole thing. Everybody thinks it's just crazy, and that's exactly what I was thinking. Where it's pulling technology. It's like doing this mischievous. That is exactly what it was. that is.
I know you.
It doesn't look like that monster.
No, but it gives the same.
It's the act. He's doing the big bad.
Yeah. The creepy eye contact.
That is so funny. It's so funny. Rob says the original had William Shatner in it. Really? Was there?
It was a show, right? It was the original show part of the thing.
Show?
Yeah, I believe it was.
I thought that that little movie set was original to the movie. It came from.
I think so. He'll correct me if I'm wrong.
William Shatner was. I had no idea. Oh, that's great. That's what it reminded me of. Him pulling the wires and stuff. You're just like, stop! Like, little bitch. Spencer likes the object source lighting.
Oh, thank you, Spencer. That's my favorite part too. I love experimenting with this. I don't do it enough. I should do it more. I love the lighting. I love the rim light. You know, it's a super fun way to do that.
It's funny. It's hard to do on camera. It's so much better in person. The
rim.
Because the camera is over Dave's shoulder. A little bit of a funky. The lighting, it's in person, it really has a cool glow to it and feels very directional. Like as I'm looking at the screen right now, you don't feel the directionality of the two separate lights yet because he hasn't worked on all this, the wires.
Yeah, and once these two things cut in front of the light and put him in front, that will all help that too.
Yeah, it's a really fun thing. When he was doing the lighting, I was like, loves doing lighting and.
This whole thing, like just having this weird, like humanoidy. Why does he have pants on and still a shirt, but like a human chest? I don't know. It's a fun way that my brain kind of went to this because again, it was described as a humanoid character. And I don't know if it's a condition. Is it fly-like where he was, a human? That's kind of what I'm inferring with still wearing, some clothing elements.
Jay Jamblo is saying.
Hey, Jamlo, thank you for joining the stream. And yes, so basically, it's a two-part answer. I do sketch with pencil occasionally when I miss it, but I usually do with digital because I'm doing so many projects at once, and I want to move fast, and I want to scale it to the way I'm painting it. So for me, just after painting for so long and being a full-time artist for so long, I like to get on my iPad and I'll sketch there. My ideas come from all over. I keep a list on my phone. When new ideas pop in, they get put in there just to always have ideas, always have stuff to choose from. As a full-time artist, I don't get to, not be inspired. I don't get to not paint. If I have time that and the studio's open, then I'm painting. So for me, it's kind of like get to work, get painting. So I keep those ideas, I keep all that stuff, ready to go so that I have, ideas ready to, a list. And my iPad has probably right now 10 paintings in process. Some it's just like a reference, picture. Some it's a sketch. Some it's just maybe some words, to start me off. It's a little bit of everything, but that's my work process that kind of keeps me flowing.
And you really like to.
Oh yeah, very much so. I don't do enough. It's one of those things where just because the style of production I do in painting, I just don't get really what I would like to.
What did you like to do with work?
It's always tough to see. It's so white on camera. But yeah, we should do one.
Melissa went to the original, the original William Shatner Twilight Zone.
Nice.
Definitely not as. It's way more campy and weird than the John Lithgow. Oh my God, it's great. I had no idea.
This cat man.
Shatner was handsome. I love it. Oh God, Monster is so.
I'm sure it's cheesy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cheesy. Oh, fun. That's fun. Rob says, looks awesome. Look forward to seeing the finish line.
Hey, thanks, Rob. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining the stream. And we'll have this, like I said, this will probably be finished up this week. And then the stream next week, we'll do the last panel. And then we'll roll it out. Prints will be available because people have asked. So we will have some we'll have canvas prints and all the options and paper and all that kind of stuff. So again, thank you guys for joining me on the thank you and go to bed.
Mm-hmm. Sign it off, Rob. Yeah, that,
I don't think that I do that either.
no. Monster really beat me. Oh my goodness. Whereas I remember the monster on the John Wick, like
I remember it scaring me.
Really scary.
Yeah.
Really scary. That is exactly what this reminds me of, though. Is that the pulling of the parts and just ripping out the wires. That is so funny. Any idea what they with this why this little monster?
I don't. I need to kind of ask them how they, if it was growing up there or passing through or traveling there. I need to know more.
As we found out last week, once I started researching the Mothman, and there is a movie about it apparently, but there's West Virginia, the town that this happened in, there's a festival every year. Celebrate it, like food and a little.
There's a sculpture right as you drive into town. A huge, like 8-foot sculpture of him.
It's so it's so hilarious. People are so funny. Yeah, because they have a little personality. I would go to that festival if I was from the area.
Of course you would.
I definitely like to see the crazies. Not an offering for the Mothman.
I tagged the Mothman in my posts. Yeah. Apparently, there's so much Mothman art that they can't respond.
No, they don't have time. They have time to do. People.
Super fun textures. Like just making up all of it. Yeah, exactly. Just making up the randomness of what his body looks like and stuff. Artist is very fun because there is no rules. Why he has like 3 collarbone wrap over things? I don't know.
Right.
Why not?
So when you drew him out, it was just like, this is my monster.
Yeah. I looked at what was out there for what the descriptions of him, what they had, and I was like, okay, it's really wide open. It's a humanoid. I did not like. Originally, he was seen with bat wings, so I tried to keep my wings not as batty. I did give him a crook. Yeah, I wanted more mothy.
Yeah.
So I gave it a crook, which is more like a bat, but I didn't give it the more like the traditional super bat. These look too like vampire.
Now says, hello, David, a decade following your job.
Oh. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Decade. Wow.
Jesus.
Hopefully
it got a little better.
Yeah.
You followed some crap.
Hopefully you've enjoyed it. No, I always say that people that followed or bought your first pieces.
Did he follow from Jesse? Is that where he found this stuff originally? I feel like it was in the Garage Magazine stuff.
That I always think I appreciate people hanging in there.
Yeah.
And trying and evolving.
Oh, the style has come so far.
Yep. And it's
the crap you guys had to watch at the beginning. I apologize.
I think 10 years ago, why? Come on. We were doing so much back in 2014, 15, 16.
Yeah.
Man, you were painting.
But I feel like the style took a twist the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Like just detail wise and attacking things I wouldn't have attacked before. I just feel like it's definitely progressed. The best part about this is, again, I'm really excited that they let me paint this, and this was their idea because it's against some things I wouldn't have done myself, wouldn't have even understood or explored. Now, just like he said, it kind of that monster juices flowing.
Yeah.
I do have an alien space idea.
Okay.
Remember we did that? I laid it out, showed you the spaceship idea.
The spaceman.
Yeah. So I think that. Because again, that has elements. I think it'd be super fun to do.
I've been a fan forever. Love your work.
Hey, Cassie, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Thank you, joining the stream. You just said, if you've been following for a long time, I apologize if the art was crap.
No.
That's a way better hand shape. Fix that right up. Again, I love the play on anatomy. Where you can, it doesn't have to be real.
Yes.
You know.
Cassie says your art's always been great. It's just gotten better. Even a huge inspiration in my artwork.
Oh, thank you, Cassie.
That's nice. Very nice.
The other thing I can honestly say about being an artist for 20 years now is there's nothing out there I'm embarrassed by. You know, it's all was learning. It's all had a time and place. It all, you know, led to bigger paintings. There's still there's still spots. I love everything about.
The thing about art is an artist never stops evolving
Mhm.
and learning, and you know, you get new ideas, new inspiration, but it's like embrace. I mean,
Exactly.
how could you have known or done what you do now?
Oh yeah,
10 years
without
ago?
all those pieces, you don't get other pieces.
Yeah, art is so ever evolving. I can't fathom an artist churning out the same work when you match up like pieces from 10 years. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, I don't know if people realize the nuance, but like holding up two different pieces side by side is going to be so different.
Oh, completely.
Dominique says, "Love your artwork, bro."
Hey, Dominique, thank you. Thank you for joining the stream. Appreciate it.
I just think that you do different stuff, like feminine and sweet, and then it could be like monstery and weird.
Monstery fly guy.
Yeah, fantastical. It can be, you know, a badass Western couple, a funny TV scene. You know, I a room that has several of your pieces in it. And they all work together, but they could be a totally different from a separate room that is all, you know, samurai.
Yeah.
You can shift around. It's like the same.
Well, and that's my secret weapon. It keeps me excited to paint because it's all different. I have so many different styles I can go to. You know, like I say, it could be cute, it could be monsters one day, it could be something different. You know, that's what keeps me entertained and supercharged to just keep painting.
As he says, it's a constant. Just Me 720 says, "What type of painting are you?"
Just me. Thanks for joining us. So the background you see here is acrylic. All the colors are gouache, kind of like opaque watercolor. This is all gouache too. This is actually acrylic too that was sprayed on here for the light rays. And then this is all gouache. And what you see now, the dark line work, is enamel. And it's like a sign painter's paint. And this is basically where I do all the detail and I'll come all the way through this paint type of thing.
So your process is it's a blank canvas and you do background with multiple layers of acrylic.
Yes.
Yeah, to get kind of this hazy atmospheric color.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Then you draw your sketch onto the surface.
Yes.
Then you
You're so much better at explaining this than I am.
try
Yes.
to get and then
Yeah.
you use gouache to block in the colors almost like paint by number.
Very much so.
Here's where the colors go in your mind.
Yes.
Yellows go here, blues go here. Here's how I'm painting them. And then it's all kind of hazy and undone and fuzzy looking because it's all just this soft, water-based paint just kind of sitting there on the surface.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it dries really quickly. And then you enamel, which is kind of, would you call it gummy?
It's definitely thick. Like right now, the consistency of my paint in front of me is like maple syrup.
So it's kind of maple syrupy. You reduce it down to that consistency. Right?
Yeah.
Not a can, it's thicker.
Yeah, I like it to be it comes out maple syrup. I like it to be a little more milky, for texture wise.
And then after all that's done,
Yes.
I can understand the background, lay down the background, get the colors down, whatever. On my mind, line work, then here's where colors, here's where highlights, low lights, right. You do the opposite. You're doing color blocking, highlights, low lights, all the structure of everything.
Yeah, exactly. I've kind of cheated and done some of the highlights and stuff, the areas I know, and then I go in with this stuff here. This is kind of where I detail and kind of carve out some of the objects and shapes and really give it volume to bring it together.
And the reason it doesn't make sense to me is if you change your mind or
I change my mind all the time, and exactly. But I know how I don't change it so much where like the leg shouldn't be here. I change it where like maybe I want less legs showing. I want more highlights, and that can all be done. Luckily, all my changes can be crafted with this paint. I am committed to like where this, for example, like these eyes are. I can't change where those eyes are,
right.
But I can change how big they are. If I wanted to carve some more black out, I can adjust them. But I've already made the decision of where they are. That I don't change.
Okay. Really, you aren't going to change because you are.
Yes, that's been snuffed out during the sketch process to make sure that's where it should be.
So just need to see if you start with the wash, you did.
Yes, exactly.
Which is, this is why I'm not an artist, is I can't conceive of the layering. I think of the layers going in the opposite direction. You know what I mean?
Yes, where it's black and you fill in the coloring book.
You fill in the color, which I know experience. But that's how my brain says, now I have the structure, now I can do the coloring and whimsy. And yours is, the whimsy is the what?
Yes, very much, exactly.
Which that doesn't make sense to me.
I'm very whimsy.
Like I just, I cannot receive. Like I've seen you do all these paintings. I know where you're gonna go with it. I think I know what it's gonna look like, but I don't understand how you do it.
And for me, like I know how I want it to look. I keep making lines until it looks the way I want it to look. I keep pushing things back. Like I'll probably go in here and push some of this back, that's in there just to, to kind of de-unify it almost. It's kind of like make the lines keep making lines until it's where I want it. Like for example, like this line with the leg, I'm like, that's too far. So I'll go in and I'll just start pushing the line out. Get rid of the line, pushing things back. It's kind of constant process.
So you would lose your mind if you were acrylics or watercolor or.
Yes, very much so. Yes.
That's there's just not enough definition.
Exactly.
You see.
And that's always a challenge when I do watercolors or do those things. It's very hard because those are softer, delicate items. And I am a smack black around. You know what I mean? I want to carve those big shapes. I want big areas of dark color. Like this part here, the shoulder, I love that. And I'm going to keep pushing it back and go, no, I want to see more dark. I want to see less definition. Suggestion of detail. Yeah. Like I'll come over here and go, no, I want less of this. I'm going to push these back. I want to see just see the rim lights of objects. Suggest that that texture goes all the way in there.
Funny, everyone's learning differently.
Oh, completely. I always say, that's why I say try all the different mediums because different mediums react differently, and maybe the one that makes your brain go, oh, that's how I see things. Mm-hmm. That's how it was for me when I found this paint. I was like, oh, that's how I've been trying to do all this time. One stroke completely dark. Just kind of open the door to what I was trying to do.
But even when you do like watercolor for ink, you're still doing the watercolor.
Yes. That's how my brain works. I'll do watercolor first and do pen and ink on top of it.
I did fine art and commercial art in school and looked at processes at different styles of artists. Yeah, it's amazing that each person you could give 20 people the same subject and come up with how they get there is going to be vastly different. depending on their life experience, where they went to school, how they were
Yeah,
taught,
what
how they
medium?
taught themselves.
Exactly. Like I see things like color pencil and I go, that's so abstract to me. I couldn't imagine working with that. Just how my brain just sees things. And that's why I always say try everything, because you don't know what's going to be that thing that clicks and goes, oh, that's what it's trying to do.
I think it's worth noting that Dave So, I think there did commercial art and did videography and website design and things like that. I think coming from more of a functional production vast background, right? In college,
all the skills.
Art classes.
No, I did very few. I did all the drawing classes, no painting classes, and that's why I think my style is so illustrative. But basically, I learned all those Photoshop skills and all the skills that I use today, that help me so much in business side.
Yeah. That's what's so funny is that you learn the functional post-production.
Yep.
How to you and prepare this work to run a business.
Exactly. I didn't even realize that I was amassing these skills that would be the most important thing to helping me be an artist.
But if you could have all those skills and not be a working artist, you have to be able to do the art. And that's what's so funny is that you're not taking art classes. Like, I wonder what you would have learned or had to unlearn. If you went to
well, I was never going to learn this style, because when you go to college, you're watercolor, acrylic, oil. Like, there is no enamel class. There is no, you don't get to play outside. You use those kind of things. There is no, they teach you the basics and then you go from there. So I wouldn't have had that style. I would have had most likely oil or something else would have creeped in and taken place of that.
Yeah, just me saying it's amazing to see the outcome of different minds. Commercial art in college wasn't ready to do art. But we were around, Dave was, he still was hardly taught a little bit, right? Like, you guys had
the programs, but there was no digital artists. Like, we weren't doing that.
No, but you learned the functional work.
Oh yeah, Photoshop, how to prep files, exactly.
Maker and Quark and
exactly
programs. In college, you didn't paint for how many years?
Like 7 or 8 years. Like no art at all, just because that was kind of filling that creative void.
Efren says this reminds me of the Mothman. That's exactly
what it is. Yes, just for those joining me now. So this is basically a commission. It's a 3-panel piece of the Mothman to contribute to the urban legend of the Mothman. So basically, he was seen right at the scene of a major bridge disaster where 46 people perished. And this is basically that moment, him destroying the box of the bridge. And there's 2 other panels. Also give Paleomashi and other aspects of his legend. So this is a triptych, 3 pieces. It's a custom commission. Somebody who wanted the Mothman and just kind of let loose and let me at it with very little input. They kind of said, this is Mothman. And we decided on triptych. And they were very open to what I saw in my head. The second they had this idea, and the second I read the legend, I was like, oh, I could see what I wanted to paint in my head. So we are here now. This is the center panel. If you go to my socials, you'll see the first panel, and then the other flanking panel we'll paint on next week's lesson.
Photoshop and Illustrator and learning RGB and CMYK. All of that allowed us to function business-wise. Dave didn't know that his work, his actual day job, was going to lead to this, nor did I. My work with online stuff and marketing and whatnot, I didn't know that would be only we were becoming a little dissatisfied. And he, after years and years in college, decided to start doing art. And he was like, well, wait a minute, if you have an ability like this, because when I met him, he wasn't doing anything like this, nothing. He didn't even consider art other than having graphic design degree. And so we started kind of playing around with this paint, and then it was like, huh, like, I don't know, maybe you could sell some. Like maybe you could do this. Not as a full-time job, no way, that doesn't happen. But maybe you could on weekends or something. Maybe there's events or something. And so we started.
And she was supportive of some terrible art.
But
terrible art. I know.
I didn't know he could do anything like that. And so I was just in awe of it and saying, well, let's get it out there. I think it's good. So let's put it in the world. And then, you know, what does he do with the skills we have? Well, he can do post-production. He can photograph the art and make prints of it. Materials. And that's how it starts, is really, let's just make money to pay for travel materials, events, maybe a little extra money that can help kind of our lives go forward. But we both had corporate day jobs, you know, and then we just kind of, after a few years of doing both, it was like, can this be the job? We are both doing this, and do we have the skills and ability to do this?
We were doing shows on the weekends. We were doing shows during the week. I mean, we were a crazy schedule, you know, trying to launch this art and kind of and really give it a chance to be successful. So really, it was a crazy venture. We had no idea. For us, it was side money. Maybe it's travel money. Like we never knew this would be both of our full-time jobs.
Yeah, it took a lot of time. It took a lot of effort. We both had to do both of our jobs while we still had jobs. And you know, I'm doing all the web stuff and all the marketing and the buying, you know, of print, and how do we support that? How much do we need? You know, then what events do we do? So I'm doing all the event stuff, and you know, it just goes and goes, and it got better and better because he was a functional artist. You know, he came from a production and working background, and so he loves to paint. He paints often. He's creative. So if that is there, then you just need somebody to help you fuel it. You know, and so I was helping try to fuel the business and kind of figure out what business this would be, and doing events and throwing him out there, you know, to paint at events while we were there, painting live, you know, and just build a following. It was very old school, pre-internet, where we're doing a lot of events and just getting out in front of people and selling art. So I mean, we're really lucky. We worked really hard, and the skills though that he had weren't just skills. You know, a lot of artists that aren't functional business people, and they don't have the functional computer skills, and they don't know what to do when they make a piece. They're like, "What do I take this? Who photographs it?" You know,
yeah.
So you know, it's very good that you have a functional background, a business experience background to know how to justify taking breaks, how to know when to work, how not to work stuff. You know, and on the flip side, be able to do production stuff. Some days there is no art being done. You know, it's administrative, it's emails,
exactly.
It's licensing, it's talking to different representatives. You know, as it gets bigger, you're very. The
business of art gets much more in the way.
You're very constantly being pushed further and further away from doing art, and so it's important to always be in the art. And that means sometimes we don't do business opportunities. They're too laborious. They take too much time or energy, you know, because we ultimately want to do the art. But yeah, it's a funny path we've taken, and I feel like the paths are all unique according to your art and your skills. Just me saying, we had to design the logo for the 2003 Winter Olympics, and I was doing more fine art instead. Yeah, that's what happens. That's the thing to do for doing corporate things, right? Or doing kind of corporate art is if it's satisfying and you're enjoying it and you're doing a good job, that's great. But you can see how a lot of artists get frustrated.
That's again. So I did design, and for 7 years it was great. But then I was like, it became, you know, frustrating when someone would say, "I don't like blue." It becomes a frustrating kind of thing when you don't have control over the final design. And for a while, as I got good, it fit the bill. But as I became a really good designer, I was just frustrated. It wasn't creative anymore. You knew how to bang it in and get it done and get it approved. I kind of lost that, the artistic. That's when we started painting and went, oh, here's that thing I've been missing.
Yeah, and I mean, certainly, looking at it now, you are so much better, happier doing art, and then dealing with the business side of that, doing corporate design stuff. You did that to a living, but while it was creative, it's certainly wasn't.
And even now, like I do commercial stuff with work with companies. It's art. It's not like logo design, but it's always a challenge because it's not totally my idea, and I don't get full say. And it still is a challenge at this point in my life. It still is like, okay, we're doing this, for their reasoning. Let's do it the way they want it, but still, affect it and make it what I want to be me. Yes, we have. Have not painted that yet. A bunch of those, a bunch of different Native American legends we wanted to do, just some fun stuff. But yes, love the idea, and it is one of those characters that constantly comes up when we talk about this. It's basically the same kind of soul. It's different than all the ones. I'm going to comment the exact details, of course. Yeah.
I was like
no, it's more of a cross between a vampire. It's a soul.
A harmful, malevolent witch.
Yeah.
Was transformed into disguise as an animal by breaking sacred tribal taboos. Whoa!
Well,
it's a Navajo term.
Well, your example is way better than my explanation. So yes, that.
A person becomes a skinwalker by committing a as wrongful death of a family member or close blood. So their view is the exact opposite of a traditional medicine person or a healer. They use dark magic to bring sickness, pain, and chaos, like a necromancer.
Necromancer.
Oh, that's right. You're saying something I love. I love that. You need to do that.
Mm-hmm.
We need to see a skinwalker, a necromancer type. Yeah.
This is how monster paintings get started.
Exactly. I want to see more monster paintings. Just me seeing that there's some. Okay. Love it. Love the spooky underworld. I love the opposite of a medicine man.
Yes.
Well, you have done a few things like that, but only in watercolor.
Yes.
Like that. You did that one that's sort of walking with an ox.
Yes, the shaman. Mm-hmm.
Oh, and Efren says it originally was a positive in the past, but it evolved into being viewed as an evil. Fascinating. Yeah, David, I think in watercolor, was kind of a bristled medicine man. I don't know what part of, passing through the earth person, like definitely not of this world person, sort of walking the box. Like all this like heavy gear and equipment on it, very old timey. Which piece of time?
Yes, yeah.
And kind of ink and watercolor, but we never
made it to paint yet.
Painting of it. You never really spent it because it was just an ink and watercolor. I love that piece too. Because I feel like that's your kind of thing.
Oh, for sure.
Like, it's like definitely a little otherworldly. They're not necessarily evil looking, but a little odd,
yeah,
right?
There's something else going on.
A little questionable with some of their, like the spear or some of the gear they carry looks like you're up to. Yeah, I'd like to see that. What do you think? Is this a good place to stop?
Yeah. We can wrap that up.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. This is you make this really fun. This makes painting go by really fast. But thank you all for joining me. We'll be back here again next Wednesday doing the last panel, and I'll share some pictures, progress shots of this during the week while I finish it up. But again, thank you all for joining me. I'm very excited, and we will definitely catch you guys. Take care.